Welcome to Foxborough Cable Access Sports Talk, and we're here this evening with representatives of the Foxborough High School Girls Basketball team. I'm joined tonight by Assistant Varsity Coach Jamie Kelly and co-captains Jesse Heinricher and Tara Greeley. Welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
We're going to start off tonight, just talk a little bit about the program and the coaching staff and things like that, and we'll see where the conversation goes. Girls basketball has who for coaches?
We have Sarah Bain is the varsity coach. I assist her at the varsity level. At the JV, we have Lisa Downs joining us back. She was coaching with us many years ago, so it's good to have her back.
Excellent. At
the freshman level, we have Ellie Petrovic. And at the 8th grade level, we have new joining our staff, Sophia Stanley. So.
Now, of the coaching staff, it's my understanding that you and Sarah and Lisa all played for the Foxborough High School program. Is that right?
We did. We did.
And I won't ask you how many years ago that was, but there was a fair amount of success when you guys played.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's like state championship time?
Yeah. When I was a senior, Lisa was coaching.
Okay.
I believe she might have been the JV coach, and she assisted us and came through the ride with us in '95. So that was lots of fun. So
that's excellent.
Yeah.
I knew you all had been involved with the program together, but I didn't realize that connection. I hadn't realized that Lisa was a coach going back that far.
Yeah.
I know her from Foxborough Youth Basketball and all of that involvement, but that's an interesting part of it all.
Yeah.
And this year's varsity team, we have, I think, two varsity players. Two senior players.
Yes.
And those are our co-captains here tonight, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And we have, I guess, 4 juniors, 4 sophomores, and a freshman.
Absolutely, yes.
Well, we want to try to have some wonderful success going forward this year, because last year's success was a lot of excitement.
Absolutely.
Talk a little bit about what happened with last year's team. We made the tournament, and what happened then?
Yeah, we had a really good year through and through. We had some great wins, some tough losses, but our goal was to make it into the tournament, which we did a little bit by the skin of our teeth. But you're in, you're in.
Didn't it come down to the last game?
It actually did come down to the last game.
I remember that. That was very exciting.
I know. They always keep us on our toes. They never can let us relax. Yeah. So it came down to the last game, and it was actually a very tight game. I think Sarah and I were very intense. The kids were very intense. It was tough. When you come down to that last game, there's a lot of pressure.
Of course.
We knew it. The kids knew it. There was no hiding it. But once we were like, whew, we were able to, put that under our, and just move on. Put it under our belt and just move on to the tournament. And I think we surprised some people in the tournament.
Well, we went 3 games deep.
The first game was tough. It went back and forth. We kind of won at the end. It was one of those, oh my goodness, it was like a desperation shot.
I recall that well. I was doing the television reporting for that, and I'm fairly certain that I was out of control, jumping up and down and screaming when it happened. It was a very exciting game.
Yeah, it was back and forth. It wasn't our best performance, but again, you take the win and you run, and that's what we kind of did.
Well, that's the secret of good teams, isn't it? Good teams are going to win the games they should, and some of the ones perhaps they shouldn't, and win some games when they're not at their best, just out of effort.
Right, absolutely.
And certainly we had the effort there.
Absolutely, from everybody, the starters, bench, everybody. And then the second game, we came out and just played unbelievable, playing a team, in the city and going in there.
That was against Jeremiah Burke, right?
It was Burke, and we just came, and again, we just from the starters to the bench, we couldn't miss that night. It was we won pretty handily. We didn't know because
that is one of the more colossal understatements, I think. For a tournament game, you guys you went to that game and you were, as you said, ready, and they just never had a chance.
Yeah.
You bowled over them, and it was done.
Yeah.
And you followed it through right to the end. Again, the starters, bench, everybody who played had a good time out there.
Yeah. And then we we'll go to the third game. We were playing Mansfield. We played them 2 times in the regular season. And when you play a team in the regular, they play in the regular season. In the Hockomock League, any team can win at any given night. So that was a team where it did, whoever came to play and played the best that night was going to win. And unfortunately, we just didn't have a complete game that night, and we fell short.
Well, a couple of their seniors really stepped up and hit important shots down the stretch, right when it looked like you were going to make an effort to get back into that and make it a closer game. They stepped up, they hit important shots, and closed it out. Well, and it was also in their gym.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's tough playing there. It's like a long court. It feels like a football field. It's just very long. They had the crowd, the crowd was huge. They were hitting shots. We had a tough time.
McPherson.
Yeah, McPherson plays very well.
Oh yeah, she had an awesome game.
We had a tough time getting going, and I think we felt that. We felt that as a coaching staff. We just couldn't find it. Nothing was going right. We're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit. But rolling over into this, we're looking to build on that success. You know, we have 5 starters that have, you know, seen a lot of minutes and have seen every single one of them has seen starting time. So we got veterans there. But what we're encouraged this year is our bench. We've at times maybe had a hard time coming off the bench, but we've had some people that have, you know, really given us some results in all the scrimmages that we have. And if we're going to win games, we need everybody to chip in. That's the type of team we are.
Oh, certainly.
You know, so you know, we're really encouraged in that. Coach Bain and I have talked about that several times already, and how encouraged we are from the bench and the starters, you know, getting things going as being veterans. You know. So,
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, let's switch for a second over to our co-captains here, ladies. Exciting season last year. Worked hard to get to the tournament and had good success there. Are you all encouraged going forward this year?
Yeah.
Jess, what do you think?
I don't know. And all like I've missed 2 of the scrimmages because I sprained my ankle, but they've been like I've been watching them. And they've been playing really good. Like I'm really encouraged. I think we'll make the tournament again this year, but I think it's going to be by a lot more games, not by just one game that we make it.
Well, that for those of us that watch the game and or do the games on television, that would be helpful. Thank you very much. Then waiting to the last game is a little bit stressful for those who watch, and I'm sure for those who coach, and probably for those who play. I mean, did you guys feel a lot of pressure last year coming down to that last game?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the team desperately wanted to make the tournament, but just wanting doesn't get the deal done, right? We were talking a little bit before the cameras started rolling, and pretty much the Hockomock is such a tough league.
It is.
That if you can find a way to make the tournament, you'll probably have a good time there, because the other teams can't possibly appreciate how tough you guys are.
Absolutely.
Defensive-minded, our captains, would we say we have a very defensive-minded team?
Definitely, yeah. The depth on our team is very, very defensive-minded. Like, we're really, really scrappy, and that's going to get us a lot of scrappy points. So it's going to win the games for us, I think.
And for the first time in a few years, we actually have a good lineup with a fair amount of height on the team, I notice.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We got a lot of tall girls.
A lot of tall kids out
Finally.
there. Everybody has the ability to hustle. So there's no tall kids who can't get into it and get down on the floor and get the ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
So obviously keys to the success of this year's team is going to come off of defense.
Definitely off of defense. I think we are faster than we have been in the past. The potential's been there, but we just haven't. We are defensive minded. We haven't really gone out and done some fast breaks. You know. So our goal is to get some fast break baskets. You know, 6 or 8 a half is huge. So,
Those are the freebies you have to have if you're going to win, right?
Absolutely. But we really want to be able to execute our man-to-man defense this year. I think in past we've kind of folded in that respect and kind of just relied on our zone, but we're really looking to beef up our man-to-man and make it work this year.
Isn't that more of a function of being able to go deeper on the bench and having kids that that can play defense there?
Absolutely. And going on to that, I think we're able to, because we're scrappy, because we're a little quicker, we can press too, which rely on a little bit more and really make use of the speed we have, and it all can fold into that. Starting from there, I think it can work.
I have noticed during the scrimmages that the shooting percentage is better this year. Still a fair number of open shots that are missed, and
Absolutely.
I could tell from body English and expressions that there's a little frustration with that, as with any coach on any team.
Yeah.
But you guys seem to be able to put the ball in the hoop a little bit more easily this year. You have that same feeling?
Yeah, I think our ball movement is really helping us with that. Like, we work harder, so we get an easier open shot. So we're able to hit those open shots now.
I have noticed that there are times when the movement on the floor offensively was actually elegant. I mean, where the ball would just smoothly moved around and resulting in a jump shot. I noticed, again, with the body language and the expression of the coaches. And Jamie, you don't exactly hide your emotions when you're coaching, right?
I know.
And Sarah, but Sarah hides hers so well.
I'm not excited at all.
No, not at all. But even just yesterday's scrimmage, there were some really elegant moments where the ball was just moved the way it was supposed to be moved. The open player was found and the shot was taken. Didn't always go, but there was a lot of fun watching that, because and it must have been a lot of fun for you guys actually doing that Do you feel the difference when you're on the floor and the ball's moving that purely?
Yeah.
You can like feel it. I don't know. It's like when the right ball movement, and then when you catch that pass, and like it was a good pass, and you just know that your shot's gonna go in.
Yeah. That's excellent. Everybody gets that's the team play. Everybody feeds off of everybody else.
Unselfishness. Yeah, they're given the extra pass, which
Right.
we sometimes don't see it, or just it just a matter of getting it off, and they're not as comfortable. But now I feel like we are.
Well, I would say that's one of the differences from last year's team to this year's team. Last year, there was a sense that there were a lot of times when there needed to be that one more pass.
Yeah.
And this year, there just seems to be a sense of it. I mean, I hear you guys on the sideline calling for one more, or calling out a name, find the open, whatever. Usually calling out a name of a player, but it seems like a high percentage of the time, just as you're calling it out, that pass is being made.
Right.
So the kids are learning, and they're finding the players, and that's a lot of fun to watch, and it makes, I guess, the game a lot more fun to play. But the rest of the time, however, we don't mind ugly basketball when it's a real scrappy defensive game.
Right.
Tara, you're known for the effort that you leave on the floor, right? And you know, as coach, and obviously I coached for a lot of years in girls basketball, but that's what you want from your players. Take it, give us the best effort that you can today. You get one time to play this game, leave it all there, and if you win, terrific, and if you lose, at least you know you did your best.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, if there was, can you encapsulate a coaching philosophy that you and Sarah bring to this team?
I think it's definitely leave everything you have on the court. Give us your best effort. It's all we can ask of you. Do the little things. Fundamentals is huge. I think sometimes we get away from the fundamentals. And definitely being able to stick to man-to-man defense and getting some fast break baskets. Going for loose balls. Outplaying your man. Make it a goal to play better than the person you're playing against. Like I said, we're just looking to fast break this year and really pick up our defense and make use of our bench. Wrap all that into a nice little package, and hopefully we get a lot of W's.
Well, I guess if you're able to do all those little things, make for big time success. So
absolutely.
That's very encouraging. So how does the program look below the varsity level? I guess we have a large group of JV players.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's quite a number of last year's freshman players that are there, and they had a lot of success, as I recall.
JV, yes,
absolutely. The last year's freshman team.
Excuse me.
I guess they were undefeated.
Yes, they were. They did. They
now
well.
mostly populate the JV team, mixed in with some juniors.
Yep.
Which finally gives them some height to work with. Right?
Exactly.
Because they were all about the same size, weren't they, as
yes.
freshmen? Yeah.
Yes.
It was kind of funny to watch.
They're fast as well.
Yeah.
They're doing really well. They have some bright spots. Like you said, they're tall. They have some good ball handlers. And then even at the freshman level, Coach P, Eileen Petrovic, is saying how quick she is and how just going to get the ball up the court and they can press, and how excited she is to get going and see what they can do against her opponents.
Well, this year's freshman team, they were undefeated as 8th graders in the Megan League with the middle school last year as well.
So I think we have some quickness. We've been okay, fast in some spots and some positions. But I think we're really getting to be a quicker team and being able to get out and fast break, like teams have done on us. I think it's quickness and then throw in some height. It's our turn, I feel. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, can't teach height, right?
Right, exactly.
So it's good to have them around. And actually, the current freshman team, I'm obviously familiar with because I coached most of those girls from time to time. And that's a good mix of players, both from height and speed and athleticism.
Right.
And that's why they enjoyed so much success going backwards, because other towns we're going to miss somewhere in the matchup. So hopefully we get kids that are going to follow through and stay with the program, and then that'll be a nice feed for the varsity team going forward.
Right. So we have a good mix with speed and height, so it's they go well together.
Now, girls, do you sense that there's a lot of kids in the program that are doing more things basketball related through the year instead of just during basketball season?
Yeah, we do a lot of clinics together as not only a team but as a program. So we have carloads of girls going to Ashland we just went to for a clinic, and we have summer basketball teams on all different levels. And then there's girls doing other things like AAU or velocity, where they're working on their speed, their strength, and their jumping ability. So everyone's working really hard in the off season to get ready for the games this year. So
excellent. You get the same sense, Jess, from the kids that you talk to on the team?
Yeah.
Coach, obviously that's an important part of it. You get kids that are a little more devoted to the game of basketball.
Absolutely.
And working on it all year round.
Yeah.
Well, I guess not everybody's going to do it 12 months a year.
No.
Although I'm sure you have some in the program that do. But
yeah, they do. I mean, it is. It's about working on your game off season. Getting to clinics, getting to camps, playing as a team in the summer. We respect the fact that the kids play other sports, soccer and field hockey and track, and that's great. Keep up your staying in shape, and that's great. But put a ball in your hands on the weekends or whenever you can is always gonna help you when keep you ahead when the season's here.
Oddly, I've said that many times to many different players, but it's so many competing interests.
Right. No, you're absolutely
and
right.
after all, they do have to go to school, right? And
They do that work, that education thing. Yeah, right. Absolutely.
That whole education thing.
It comes first.
Of course, the student athletes, right?
Absolutely.
Students first. Jess, what other sports do you play?
None.
None? You've played other sports in high school.
I did. I played soccer until my I didn't play this year, but I played freshman year up until my junior year, and then I did track my freshman and sophomore year.
Oh, excellent. All that a good experience for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. We as parents and coaches, we like to have our student athletes be complete players and be able to look back when they're in their 20s and say, those were fun years. I had a lot of fun doing those things. And hopefully you'll be able to say that, and hopefully you'll close out your senior year with an excellent result in basketball. How about you, Tara? What other sports you play?
I play soccer and softball.
So you're pretty much going full time all year round.
Yep.
That's excellent. And I guess you were captain of of another team as well?
Yeah. All of them.
All of them. That's all right. Don't be bashful. You should be very proud of yourself. That's a wonderful thing. What a great senior year to have, captain, a three-sport captain. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And how did because it is student athlete and student being first, ladies were doing well with our studies? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do we have an idea of where we want to go to school, to go to college, or what we want to do with our life after?
I'd like to go to UMass Amherst, but I have no idea what I want to do with my life. I'm going undecided.
Hey, listen, I'm a lawyer now. I started off as a physics major. Imagine that. That didn't last long. How about you, Tara?
I'm not sure where I want to go, but I finished my applications. But I think I want to do something with pediatrics or education.
Good. Well, those are wonderful pursuits. Absolutely wonderful pursuits. Mm-hmm. So, who do we start the season off with?
Oliver Ames. I'm sorry.
Oliver Ames. That's on Friday.
Yep.
Tonight this is Tuesday the 11th, right?
Yes.
And that's Friday the 14th. That's an away game, right?
It is an away game. We're at away. Yep.
And my recollection is that we have two pretty tough games, both away games to start the season. Who's second up?
You got me.
Come on, girls.
Stoughton
is.
You're right. I knew that. Yeah, I wasn't sure. Great.
That's all right. It's one game at a time, right?
Absolutely.
You can't worry about the second one until you get past the first one.
I'm concentrating on OA, yes.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
And how does the Hockomock League look generally?
Pretty good. Like I said before we started tonight, on any given night you can win, and I think that's what makes it fun to play in the Hockomock League. OA is strong. They're strong. Franklin looks pretty good as well. And everyone else kind of is just going to chip in, And North Attleboro, always is strong as well. And I think I gotta say I think we look pretty good.
Yeah, I've been impressed so far. I like what I see. It's good teamwork. The girls work well together, and they certainly make the effort on the floor, which is so important. I mean, there's nothing worse than looking back as either a player or a coach and saying, we just didn't give a good effort.
Yeah. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, right?
Right.
Yeah,
and I'd look at the guy in the mirror before a game when I was playing sports, and just you have that little conversation and say, okay, today I'm going to be prepared, and I'm going to give everything I have, and win or lose, at least then I know I tried my best.
Right.
You try to teach that to the kids.
No, absolutely, absolutely, and I think we definitely have seen that, even from underclassmen. We were saying even yesterday, kids who are the first year playing on varsity, Rachel Jameson and Livy Roma are just go-getters. They get after it, and I think that makes everyone else step up. You know what I mean? Like, everyone chips in here and there, but they just have a nose for the ball and they go after it every single time. It doesn't matter what's happening. They want the basketball, and they show that effort every time. And we make examples of them regularly to show that that's how we could play all the time, and that's what makes the difference in a game. You know?
Sure. Sometimes 1 or 2 possessions is all. That is a difference in a game, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, plenty of games out there where one
Yeah.
are lost by a point or 2.
Absolutely,
And
those
that's
those
one
hurt.
possession. That's one layup, and you know, you want to make sure that. I know part of the frustration of coaching is that.
Right.
Why is it that it seems the teams can never make all of the layups?
Right,
And they should.
absolutely.
Right? And
Easiest shot
it's
in the
just
game, but
that's right.
it's
Easiest
hard.
shot in the game. But we see it whether it's in grade school or in
Right.
high school, college, pros.
Absolutely.
It just happens.
It does.
They just, you know.
Yeah.
Is there an emphasis on free throws? We didn't talk about that. That was always one of my bugaboos.
Well, coming from a head coach that was a 92% free throw shooter,
Yeah.
I think so. You know, her big thing with free throws is it's a time to let your team rest. You take
Right.
the deep breath, you know, and you just kind of relieve the tension in your shoulders, and you take the 10 seconds. You know,
Right.
plenty of times you see 1-2 dribbles, shoot it up like it's a hot potato.
Right.
You know, she's always stressed. It's a time for you to rest. It's a time for, you know, relieve the tension you have and let your team get a breather without having to call that timeout. You know.
Not to mention the fact it's a time that you can add to the score that's on
There
the
you go.
scoreboard.
And it's hence free, right? It's supposed to go in.
It's all about free. That's right.
So she's huge in the 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath. Have the same routine, and just, you know, it's about practice. You know.
Sure.
You know, repetition. You know.
You got to
So.
do it in practice before you can even think about doing it in a game.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, some of the other teams in the Hawk League, my view of it is that some of these towns are just bigger towns than we are.
Right.
Therefore, they have bigger numbers of kids going through the program. You guys
Right.
sense that as well.
Yeah.
And that's a little tough on the coaching side, being one of the smaller
is.
towns in the Hawk.
It is. It definitely is.
Yeah.
You know, you see, you know, there's a ton of kids I feel at Franklin and at Oliver and Easton. You know, they're coming from, you know, they just keep coming. You
Right.
know, like I feel like they're growing them over there. You know, in those towns, I swear. But you know, it is hard. You just you take what you can, and you
Sure.
just you get as many kids as you can involved. You know, Sarah works very hard with the youth. She always has.
Sure.
To get, you know, to make it start at 4th grade, 5th grade, to, you know, to get this program, you know, really built up. You know, you just work with what you have, you know, and you just get people interested and excited about the game at a young level.
Well, and that's what you see with the towns that are experiencing success is you have kids that
They do.
start at a very young age,
Absolutely.
and hopefully have some good coaches along the way that teach all those fundamentals, and then you've got a kid that perhaps understands the game, and you don't have to teach quite so much of that when they get to high school.
Absolutely.
And then it's about learning the team concept and so
Right.
forth. Ladies, when did you guys start playing basketball? Jess?
I don't know. I think I was in kindergarten. It was at the YMCA when you play with boys and girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was I've been playing forever, I think.
How about you, Tara?
I started a little later than that. I think it was probably like 2nd grade, 1st grade maybe.
A little later, 2nd grade.
I know, right? A little later, right? A couple years.
About a year later.
Well, but that's the secret because you're at the mercy
Right.
of each class that comes through. And
Right.
are there kids in that class that are interested in basketball, and have they played, and do they have an interest in playing? And we have so many sports. There's so many competing sports.
Right.
Going back in time, when you were playing in high school, probably not as many girls' sports opportunities.
Right. I don't. Lacrosse is huge now. I feel in this town. We didn't
Yeah.
have that when I was growing up. But I mean, it's just more interest in those different sports. You know,
Sure.
field hockey we had, but I think it's really becoming more interested. Kids are more interested in it. Girls are more interested in it.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, I think softball and soccer was always huge, and I played those 2 sports as well. So, you know, I think the one sport that sticks out in my mind is lacrosse. That wasn't around when I
Yeah,
played.
that one has grown quite significantly. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But that's great. I mean, it gives kids other opportunities, and
Right.
they get a lot of kids involved with that.
Yeah.
But it does sort of stretch the talent pool, as it were.
Right.
There's only a finite number of athletes that are going to go around that are going to carry these sports, so you have to
Right.
hope that you get a few for yours and
Absolutely.
and move on from there.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
So, ladies, what do we do other than play sports?
I work at CVS.
Well, I've seen you there. Yes.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying that?
Oh, yeah.
Is this well, no, wait a minute. Well, you know, as you move on to adulthood, it's all about working in a large part,
Yeah.
right? This your first work experience?
No, I used to work at Funway in the game room.
Oh, okay.
That was a while ago.
Well, it's, you know.
There you go.
How about you, Tara?
I work during the summer, but I'm in some clubs at school. So, but
What kind of clubs are you in?
well, this year is my first year in peer leadership, and then yearbook club and National Honor Society.
Excellent. Those are all noble pursuits.
Absolutely.
Big emphasis on the student part of the student athlete.
Absolutely.
The kids have a pretty full schedule. They go to school obviously during the day, and then they have their practice time, a couple hours of practice a day.
Yep.
And so they get stretched too, having to do their homework and be involved with these other programs. You have kids on the student council and doing other things.
Mm-hmm. Good.
But yeah, that's good. I mean,
At full plates, yeah.
well, full plates, and it's good to have smart kids on
I
a
know.
basketball team.
Time management. Teaches time management.
Absolutely, and discipline.
Yep.
Yes, that's an excellent thing. So that's super. I'm glad that we had this opportunity to get together and talk some basketball.
Absolutely.
When you and the coach look back at each season, how do you dissect? How did you dissect from what happened last year to prepare you to go forward to this year?
It's hard, you know. We're hard on each other. We're hard on ourselves. You know, like we could have done this, we should have done this. Who could have played? You know, we just kind of look at what the makeup of what we have, and kind of utilize all the weapons we have. And I think we've always tried to be a fast break team, and and do the whole man-to-man thing, and see what really we excel at. What part of the game do we excel at, and kind of feed off that. Feed off those positives.
Well, and that's the kind of a philosophy that's pretty transportable depending on what kind of changes you have in your program with the kids coming in and out.
Right.
You can always hustle.
Absolutely.
You can always play defense.
Right.
And then you figure out who's going to be able to put the basketball in the hoop.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So coming into this year, that's what So looking back last year, we can be fast. Let's
Sure.
utilize it. Let's demand it. Definitely. And
Well, again, thank you very much for coming in and talking girls basketball, and best of luck as the season goes forward.
thank you.
We start on Friday.
Yes, we do. Looking forward to it.
As usual, I will make every effort to be there for all the games, and
Please do.
I'm looking forward to exciting games. I know that the rest of the parents and the siblings for the kids, siblings of the kids who play, get really excited, and hopefully they're loud enough for you, ladies. I know there's a lot of foot stomping and screaming and encouragement, so hopefully you get some energy from that.
Yeah.
Yes, including your mom. So
funny.
best of luck with the season, and hopefully we see another tournament visit, and perhaps
too.
we can go a little deeper this
We
year.
hope so. We hope
Thank
so.
you.
Looking
Thank you
forward to
very
it.
much.
Thank you.